Tommy, congratulations. 2 tries, a triple crown. Where does this rank for you personally in the career so far?
I think it has to be the highlight. That's my Six Nations debut at home. Made my Six Nations debut against France, which obviously didn't go the way we wanted, but to have the rest of the tournament to build and kind of finish on a high, pretty special.
You played very well against England, big impact off the bench early on, and then missed out last week. Was that tough for you? And I suppose to add to the hunger of performing this time on home soil and being given that opportunity?
Yeah, it did for sure. Obviously, any chance you get to wear the Irish jersey, you want it. So obviously, I was disappointed to miss out last week, but it's the nature of this squad is there's such strength and depth. I think it's something we've done really well. This Six Nations, a lot of guys have put their hand up that maybe wouldn't have been seen as frontline players, like Tom O'Toole switching sides. It's been unbelievable for us. Jeremy Loughlin as well. There's loads of guys. So we just talked about how important that is to get exposure to these important games for the whole squad.
And just finally for me, this Scottish backline that you came up against is very talented. You know, each individual has very high ceiling. For you as a unit, as a backline, what did you plan and where did you target to try and expose them? Because you did have your joy today.
Yeah, we know they're very good. We obviously saw exactly what they did last week to a very good French side. So we knew that was a big strength of theirs. Big point for us was getting on the forwards case and trying to see how much they could mess up set piece, mess up their delivery, kind of make our job a little bit easier. But we were very aware of the threat that they posed. So something we respected and something we prided ourselves on all week and trying to neutralise.
Thank
you.
I mean, what's the feeling like in the dressing room? Because obviously it's a great achievement to win the Triple Crown, especially after the first round. And then there's still this kind of sense. How are you feeling about like the match this evening and all that?
Yeah, I guess we're just delighted ourselves. We've done what we can control, I guess. We've gotten the 5 points and now it's up to England to do a favour for us.
Just at the end there, sometimes a match like that can finish with a consolation try for Scotland or a knock-on or something like that. How pleasing was it? You looked up, you got the ball and you looked up and you saw, was it a first centre really, and then you put the head down. What was that like? Yeah,
it's an awesome way to finish here. I think everyone is pretty out on their feet, but it's kind of a testament to the group that that's how we wanted to finish on a high. We kind of had the game kind of results sorted, but no one wanted to finish by conceding a try, and I think that's a pretty big statement to the group.
Tommy, congrats on the win today. Was there a time when you kind of felt that, you know, this Ireland thing might have been beyond you? You know, like you had to come back and fight through some awful things to come back. Like, was there a time that you felt that it might have been out of reach?
There was definitely times where I doubted was it going to happen. I always had belief in my ability. It was just a case of if my body would play ball. So thankfully for the last year and a half I've managed to keep it in good nick and get a run. It's such an important thing in rugby, is getting a run of games. You get the confidence, you get a bit of exposure, and thankfully got a good result out of it today.
And the lads, you might owe them a drink later on, Frawley and McCloskey, like two amazing assists, aren't they? Like, yeah. Just kind of sums up to kind of the, you know, those two lads and what they can bring to the party as well.
Exactly. Big Stu's serious offloading game and Frawley's is the exact same. So once they get the ball in their hands, I'm just looking to run good support lines off them.
Sure.
Tommy, you're playing in a very young and kind of inexperienced at an international level back three there. What's it like playing alongside, especially Rob, but Jamie as well?
Good. We had a lot of conversations throughout the week. We'd make sure we sit down, watch training, do a lot of analysis, just make sure that we're all on the same page. I know Jamie very well, obviously, from playing with him a lot of times in Leinster, and I always said to him, the most impressive thing about him, I think, is how when he steps up a level, he just kind of, it's just natural to him. You saw him with his first few games down in South Africa for Ireland. So he just doesn't get phased by any of the big occasions. And then Rob's obviously similar to myself in that it's taken a while for him to get a chance with his body not playing ball, but when he gets a chance, he's class. So just making sure we're all on the same page and working with each other well.
You've obviously had a very tough time with injuries. Have you taken kind of a moment or a period of time to just be grateful to where you are now? And I know the Six Nations is very full on, but have you had that kind of moment by yourself?
Definitely. I think it's something I kind of try to say to myself when I'm running out every time in the tunnel. Just kind of saying, this is what you dreamed of. This is what all those kind of hard days of rehabbing kind of on your own, this is what it's all for, and this is what makes it all worth it.
Last two. Darren.
Tommy, this is a packed Aviva, this is a triple crown, we've been in a packed Twickenham, we've scored 8 twice at 7 games. Can you tell me a pitch that you played on sometime in 2025 that didn't quite have the glamour? Did you play an AIL match at any point, or did you play any game down, or did you play that game that they played at Rockwell? Or
No, I didn't play any. I've definitely played my fair share of A games and AAL games, but no. When I was fit, I was thankfully playing Leinster.
2025 didn't have one of those games. How about 2024? Can you give me a strange
2024, trying to think. My first game back from an ACL was 2023, and I played over in London Irish. Most of the team flew over that day, so that was a bit of a day trip.
Is that in Sunbury or in the Stoop?
It wasn't the Stoop anyways.
So Sunbury.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, last one for you.
Yeah, Tommy, do you feel now that confidence is building going forward? I mentioned it to Andy earlier on, going forward for the inaugural Nations Cup and obviously the World Cup next year. Confidence is on such a high now in the squad, and such great strength and depth also, particularly in the back line.
Yeah, 100%. It's something that we've talked about the journey over this next 18 months, and there's a few milestones along the way. So a triple crown is a great way to start. And then, as you touched on, it's the Nations Cup. It's very exciting. It's something that has never been won before, so we have the opportunity to be the first.